morning, guys. Lily Reyes, the Hoboken Art Gal here with you today. I have these two studies that I drew out, sketched out, and I want to use these colors. And these are Derwent Color Soft pencils. I've selected, if you want to paint or draw along with me, it's Cranberry C150, Pale Brown C530, Ochre C590, Mid Brown C600, Peach C560, and Pale Lavender C230. And that is the Derwent Color Soft pencils. So I'm going to set them here on the side, and we're going to do the base color, and we are going to use Peach 560 to start with. I lightened the sketch as much as I could. Let's see what happens here. This is going to be the base, and so try and hold the pencil as far back as you can and press lightly. If you want, you could use a pencil extender, which will then allow you to hold the pencil further back, being very gentle, light pressure. Okay, and I'm going to try and do the strokes according to the roundness of the cheek. She reminds me a little of Selena Gomez. I didn't have anybody in mind when I sketched this, but looking at her now, she reminds me of Selena Gomez. Okay, and then here. Now remember, there's always a highlight here in the forehead, and that's because that's where the bone protrudes. All right, so let's do this cheek and doing it the same way in a rounded motion. All right, so that is C60 that we used. Now we're going to move on to C90. This is C30. So C90 is the ochre, and that we're going to take. And remember, so the lightness is going to be in this area right here, always in the face, in that part of the face. And again, holding the pencil far back. Underneath the eyes, it's always light. I feel like I don't have enough light. There we go. And then the jawline is always dark. The neck. And I want to do the neck at the same time because I always start a portrait and I always forget about the neck, and then I have to start from the very beginning when I realize that I didn't even touch the neck. So while your neck is always darker, it's always good to do everything at once. And underneath the neck is a little bit darker than further down. So, but we're not going to press too hard. We're just going to gently come across, still holding the pencil far out. And she is on an angle. As you can see, the neck is to one side, so that means that it's really not 3/4, but it's a side view slightly. Her head is slightly tilted. So let's go back here. And I don't have a reference in front of me, so this is from my brain, from what I can remember. So see, just the fact that you can't see her ear on this side, you know it's a 3/4 profile, or thereabouts. Okay, so all of this. Up here, underneath the hair is dark. Around the eyebrows, you always have a light highlight around the eyebrow. So here again, not pressing too much, keeping it light. I'm gonna say we're gonna give her a highlight around here like this, and then everything else can be covered. I'm gonna go down lightly. And there's always, her highlight is, let's go ahead and fill this. Let's give her a small highlight, about to here, from here to here. And then everything else, this can be colored in. And then this can go down to the nose. Here on the ball of the nose, there's always a slight highlight. So we can go ahead, we could leave the highlight on this side because her face is turned that way. We won't leave one on this side. So we'll go ahead and fill that in. I drew this way back when. It's been a while. And I just did a pencil, a pencil sketch. That's how I practice. So it's not a perfect face. Okay, so then here, down here, I'm going to fill this. This is going to be a lot darker because this is under the nose. We're getting to the bottom of the nose. And then we can, this really is a ball because it's rounded. And that's what pulls it up. The things you learn when you continuously practice about how to make a face. Me at the very beginning, I didn't understand why there were 3 balls on the nose, but now I can see it. When you practice, things start to develop and you can actually see the reasons behind. So this is all. Gotta be careful, I'm starting to press too hard. All this is underneath. And then I'll come back and put her nostrils. Okay, for now we'll leave it like that. And then we are going to go to the next, which is 530. This is mid-tone. Actually, I think she needs a little more. I went back to the 590. I think here we need to make that a bit darker here, just a little bit. In here and in here, and again use the pale brown. We're going to do her nostrils. Okay, then in here we're going to give it in the philtrum. And then I'm going to pick up my yellow ochre again. And the peach. And leave it so that there's a highlight in between the ochre and the peach. There's a highlight there. I hope you could see that. Okay, and then here underneath her nose, I'm using the C530. Is the pale brown, because we want this to be a bit darker. You're not going to press too hard. And then the same thing with the roundness of the nose. We're going to connect it so that it looks 3D. See how it's lifting her nose? And then this same color we're going to use it for in here. This is always darker. And again, I'm not pressing very hard. And this is going to push her nose out. So okay, so now we're going to go kind of underneath the hair for the shadow. Remember, this is your mid-tone color. Don't forget to work around the highlight. And I don't have too much pressure on the pencil, very light. And again, you know, when you use pencil, it takes a longer time because you have to apply everything in layers. And once we do that, you know, we're going to go back and repeat it one more time in the same colors, in the same order, so that you give it more depth. So this again, lightly. All right, let's continue with the 530, which is the pale brown mid-tone. And remember the bone structure. I know that your paper is flat, but you have to remember that the bone structure that you're trying to develop is round. So you don't want to put your medium just in a random way. You want to put it so that it helps to lift and make everything look 3D. And I'm going in straight lines. I do sometimes some little circles, but always being very light on the touch. Right here is her cheekbone. So always remember that the cheekbone is from your lip to the, I forget what they call the tip of the ear, but in that area like that. So we always want to have the bottom portion of the chin darker in shadow mid-tone. And then you fade it. You get lighter and lighter, and then you fade it when it comes towards the chin. Okay, so then the neck is much darker, so you're going to put some pressure on that. Not too much, because you don't want to flatten the tooth of the paper, because we still have layers that we need to put on, and if you flatten the tooth of the paper, then it's not going to take. If you need to go back and forth, it's better to go back and forth and apply more layers than it is to press on the paper. And just use circular motions. You finished, baby? My Coco just got up. She's my little kitty cat. You want to get on the window? Oh, she's such a pain. Okay, and then underneath the chin here, this is always darker. Not pressing, just gently. See, and I'm adding this as though there's a roundness right here, because that is your, what do you call that? Oh boy. Your, it'll come to me. I had to take a break to put Coco on the window, and then my husband came in for lunch, so here we go. And this is your larynx, your Adam's apple. I have an anatomy book that I'm learning my terminology from. If you're interested in that book, leave a comment down below and I can list it for you. It's pretty thorough in reference to every single part of the face, the body, your hands. It's an anatomy book. Okay, and that area there is usually lighter because it sticks out. So I'm going to leave it like this. Bring this down a little bit. The corners I'm rounding off to kind of fade in. Okay, and then here we're going to, let's see, under here, underneath her lip, it's usually darker. See how much darker that is? I'm pressing down too hard. And her chin, having it rounded. Again, let's go ahead and put the pencil like this. Gently going over her skin. This in here is lighter. Let's see here. It's including this here should be darker. And then the rest is light. Just like that. Okay. And then all of this is darker. Again, pressing lightly. Going around the orbit. This is a bone right here that sticks out, so that bone is always in highlight. Capture the correct areas. And then again here. Okay, let's go ahead and cover this here. And here, the mid brown, and this is the shadow. So this is going to be the darkest for the face. Let me do part of the ear. And what we're trying to accomplish is to leave the different values of the pencils on the face. We want to leave them visible, so the transition between the shadow, the mid-tone, and the light colors, you want to be able to see that, but that there isn't a harsh transition. And this one doesn't need to go all the way up. Now the neck, this part here has to be darker in order to delineate the bottom of the neck and the actual face. Okay, so underneath it's darker, and then what I do is I just kind of swirl it downward so that you can see both colors. Let's do it that here, extend it. Remember, it's round. You're working with a round object. And then we could come back with the pale brown and then do the same circle motions to come back with the peach, which is the lightest, and then I'm going to start to do a circle motion to kind of cover that, trying to leave a slight highlight. You could also come back with the ochre on top of that and just lightly like that. Okay. All right, so we are using this is the darkest. Okay. I'm not going to put any dark in here, even though in here it's always a bit darker than this. So let's use this pale brown, which is the medium tone. All right, and I think when we put in the eyebrows, you're going to be able to see how dark you need to go. So we are going to give this another pass, but I want to start putting in the eyebrows, and I'm going to use this cranberry for her lips. But before we do that, let's go ahead. Actually, let's start on the lip. Okay, so actually the round ball, we're still with the pale brown. The round ball is up here. It's my mistake, but it's okay because it's still rounded, right? I hope you could see that. The lip is still round. And then the two balls are down here. The pads, if you will, of the lip is down here. Right, that's why you have that that indent on most lips, because it's divided up in into two pads. Okay, so now I just fill it like that. Always turn your pencil. And then, you know, I always go across. And you always have your shadows on the end of the lip. But again, these are like pillows. Okay, so here, I'm gonna, instead of following that lip line, I'm gonna do it right above it and bring it out and around, to give her full lips. Out and around. I put a light pass with this medium tone, lightly. So you see how that already gives it dimension? Your bottom lip is usually lighter out here and more dark in here. So a very light pass. Very light. Lighter than the top. Now, I'm gonna go in right here to accentuate the top of the lip. And I never get my lips even, ever. And no one's lips are perfect. I'm gonna go and trace this like this, very lightly. Okay. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the bottom of this. And then again, the bottom of her lip. The very bottom of her lip is the lightest. I go back and forth like a half moon, and then I do the other side. And I'm not going to press hard. Because I want the lip to look round, I'm going to continue on just a moon shape. Okay. moon shape all the way down. And if you want these pads to kind of stick out, you just have to keep working it until you get it to your liking. See, I would put more shadow behind here, like behind the ball, so you could see that there is a protrusion there. See that? I mean, I could see it. I don't know if you could see it, but I could see it. And the same thing with this one. If you have to fill some spots, then fill the spots, but don't forget that it's always round. And inside the mouth is the darkest. See how her lips are popping? Don't forget to turn your pencils. I have the same thing with this lip here. Okay, and this is dark here. Okay, I'm going to bring in this dark brown, which is C520. I don't believe I gave you this number. To do her eyebrows. Let me just sharpen this. Sorry for the noise. This is the one that I use, and it takes from 6 millimeters to 12 millimeters. All of these Derwent pencils, including the Pro Color that they have, fit into this. Okay, so I'm gonna take this, and this is gonna be the same color of her hair. So let's go ahead and do the eyebrows. And take your time with the eyebrows. The eyebrows, I think, is one of the most difficult things to do. Try not to outline them. My first instinct is to outline them, and really you want them to look natural, and the hair, when it gets here, goes downward. Okay, so that's the, and turn your pencil, continue to turn your pencil. And then these hairs I leave out. I don't round them off like I did these, because I want them to look natural. And also, if you hold your pencil upright like this, you'll get a sharper point. Okay? And your eyebrow is always lighter on the at the very beginning. Okay, let's see if we can match the eyebrow. I always have a hard time with this side. And turn your pencil as you do the eyebrow. And remember, again, the eyebrow is round, so it's a comma backwards. And when you get down here, keep turning your pencil. Keep turning your pencil. My eyebrows never come out the same, so I always have to play with them, because see this one here, I think this one has to go lower that way. And this one is thicker, thinner. I always have to play with my eyebrows because they never come out the same. This one I went too low, but I'm gonna leave it. Excuse my sniffles. Okay, that is as good as it's going to get. But they look round, and that's what we need. We want them to look round. This one seems a little fuller. But if you look at yourself in the mirror, one eyebrow is always fuller than the other. So okay. Moving on. I'm going to outline, actually, let me point so that we can complete the eyes. So here, this is always a little ball at the end of the eye. It's an actual ball. And then we're going to bring this down. This is pink over here. And very gently, gently, gently make it pink. Very light. Don't press too hard. Like that. Okay. Then I'm going to take this. I'm using the dark brown. Take your time with the eye. And I'm going to outline it just a little bit, not too dark, but not too much in the center, leaving it open. And then again, the same thing with the eye. We're going to give her blue eyes, or maybe green eyes. So let's go ahead and leaving that open, and this gets a little darker. It's not as pink. So let's see. Let's do the pale brown. I need to bring my sharpener over to the other side so I can have it handy. This is the pale brown, and we're just gonna go over the pink a little bit to tone it down. Just a little bit. Okay, and because this is pale brown, I want a highlight of this lavender, the pale lavender, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in the lavender. I should have left the highlights. Let me see if I can erase it. Or you can do highlights with a gel pen. It's up to you. Actually, I'm going to do the highlight with my electric eraser. That should help. I think her eyes need to be a little bit bigger. So I'm just following the outline. Of her eye. And then we're going to fill that in. And then we're going to go back with the purple or the pale lavender. Always turning your pencil. The eye is round, so always go in a round, making a round motion. Okay. And then I have the, where is it? Dark brown. This dark brown that I use for eyebrows. And because you have a lid, this here is always going to be darkest. Okay. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do her nostrils with this dark brown color. Okay. Then we're gonna take, I'm gonna use this lavender for the lid of her eye. And you can make your eyelid as deep or as thick as you want. Mine is not gonna be too thick because her eyebrow is very low. Okay, and that will give her the depth. If you leave the white center open, it'll give it depth. And then you color the sides. And again, this is just a study that we're doing. And this is how you practice. And again, don't burnish the paper. This is round, the top of the eye is round, so you do a round motion. All right, what else do we need to do? Let me use this dark brown for her pupil. And her pupil is gonna hit the top of that lid. Just like that. Okay. Now, this eyelid needs to go out a little bit more. And this one, moving it upward. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to do one more pass with the same colors. I'm going to use the peach was the first one. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hold the pencil on the end and we're going to go over this, leaving the highlights. Don't touch the highlights. Your forehead is round, so there's always a round highlight on the front of it. This is the peach color, so this should go all over. Okay, so I selected a blue, and it's called Electric Blue 3C320. I swatched out all of my pencils, and what I do is I swatch them out like this. I make an accordion. It's a full sheet of paper. I stamp it with my square and then I color it in. I identify the pencil and then I do it like this so that I can punch holes through it. And then when I need a color to match, I just match it like this. If you want me to show you how I did this, I can go ahead and do that, but leave a comment down below if you're interested in that. Otherwise, that takes a lot of work. I don't mind doing it, but only if you're interested, okay? So, she has purple eyes. I'm going to give her some blue around the top to darken. And just kind of see the blue. Just like that, making it round. Just a little bit. Her pupil is gonna be darker. We're going to make it darker that is. What's the matter, baby? You gotta let me work. Mommy's working. Go play with Bella. Go play with Belita. That's my dark. This is the dark one. And I want to put the blue in the rim of the eye. Don't forget to keep turning your pencils. I'll probably have to find a darker pencil for that pupil. Okay. And you know, you have to tweak things according to how you want them to look. So I can give you the instruction and then you take it from there. You can also add some blue, like she has eyeshadow, to the end of the eye. You don't have to do the whole eye. And that'll make it pop even more. Okay? All right. So let's continue. We were doing the peach over the face, and we're going to keep doing that. And this is the lightest color, so that's going to go all over, with the exception of the orbit of the eye. I want to bring it close, but not so close that you can't see the white. Bring this down. This side of her face is darker. The light's coming in from this side. taking the pale brown and just making this a little darker. Okay, I had lunch and I'm back. So now we're gonna continue with the ochre. I did the peach, which was the base color. I did it all around, and now we're gonna do the ochre. And you have to do this 2-3 times. You do it until you're happy with your art. So this is just demonstrating the steps that need to be done. So now I'm going in a circular motion, and you need to take your time. Pencil artwork is not a fast medium. That's why I love watercolor, I love gouache, because the pencil medium is just slow. You have to layer. You have to layer. And then you have to layer and blend, layer and blend to make sure that your edges are not too visible. You want everything to blend. And again, I'm still holding the pencil in the very back so that I don't put too much pressure on my pencil. And I'm going in 2 different directions. But gently, you just have to take your time. Normally when I do my pencil work, I have either music going on or a vlog or something that I could listen to. A vlog, not a blog, a vlog, because I'm listening to it. And keep turning your pencils. Don't forget to turn your pencils. Okay. Okay, that's it for that. And now we're going to move on to, let me do some more purple on her eyes. Okay, you can even do purple under her eyes, because she will have a shadow under her eyes. We could do the shadow purple. Okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna give a purple here, but I think I'm going to do a darker purple. Now, I know this video is going really long. I may have to put you on time lapse. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the same process, which is the peach, the beige, in the order that I gave it to you. And then I'm going to do another covering of the colors, and then we're going to burnish. And then when we burnish, we can use, where is it? I have it here. I have this one here, and this is a Prismacolor blending pencil. And we're going to blend. But I have to add more color to her face. So I'm going to do 2 more passes, and then I'm going to blend. I'm letting you know this because I'm going to put you on time lapse. The video's a bit long. I'll put you on time lapse, and when you see this here, this is when I'm going to burnish. So do however many coats you think you need, and then we'll go ahead and burnish, and I'll come back when we're almost done with burnishing. All right? I'll see you on the other end. All right, guys, I'm back. I coated her face several times with the pencils. Now we're going to burnish. I figured that we could burnish together. Let's see how this turns out. I'm going to start with the neck down here. And again, you can hold the pencil like this, or you have to do it lightly. You can't press on it too much. You know, when you saw all that color that I put on it, sometimes you need even more than that, because it just takes a long time to get the color that you want. I think what bothers me the most is the little white specks that I could still see with my eye. But I guess, you know, nothing's perfect. But this is the process. You can, once you burnish it one time, you can try and put some color on top, but it's best to do your color and be done with it. Okay, that's all I'm going to do to the neck. All right. Let me turn my book. See, when you burnish, you get some color on your pencil, and this is why I like to leave this white, because you just need a touch of what you have on this burnisher, and it'll paint that white, but you still, you know, it keeps its pristine white. As you can see, I added some red for her cheeks. Let's add some red up here. It'll transfer. I love the way her lips came out. I'm still using a light touch. And as I said, for her, this is the pale brown. For her remember, you're going to see more of this out of the nose because she's about a 3/4. Is this the light brown? Pale? I think this is the lightest brown. Let me do her lips. The other way that you can dissolve the pencil is by using Gamsol. Should I try it on her lips? Let me try it on her lips. Right, so I have some Gamsol here, and this is Odorless Mineral Spirits, and I have some what do you call these? Oh my god, my brain is just not functioning. Q-tips in America. Okay, I'm gonna try it on her lips and see what happens. I'm gonna start. Look, her lips look beautiful. You could put too much of this and then you lose the color. So I'm gonna do the hair. Since I have red in it, I'm gonna do the hair. Right, this is an experiment. She gives me Selena Gomez vibes. Oop, I went outside the line. Let's do her eyes. Hopefully I won't ruin this. It's okay. This is practice. This is how you practice. This is how you learn. You try new things. You gotta also have a light touch to this because you don't want to streak it. I keep turning it. Okay, let me use the other side. Oh boy. I'm gonna do the neck. Something's wrong with this cotton swab. Try this here again. Okay. I think she looks better, but I still think that she needs more color. But I'm gonna leave it like this. This is a practice. I can put more color on top of this, which I will try and do on another day. But you could see the difference between the Gamsol and the burnish, burnishing pencil. So the colorless blender is what that's called. Okay, let me just cover this. Let me go ahead and see if I can't put some eyelashes on her with this. This one is dark brown. Okay, I have this black pencil. I'm going to give her some eyelashes. And actually, I want to make her pupils a bit darker. Turn your pencils. Oh boy. I think we need a little bit of dark color in here. Since we are experimenting, I'm going to try this small brush to do her eyebrows. Let's see what happens. Okay. Okay. I'm going to use the same. But I think, God, what mess I have here? I think this here needs to be toned down before I do that. Let me get the peach one, this peachy color, and see if the pencil will take. Okay. This is, try this here first. This is how you experiment. And again, I'm not pushing down on the Q-tip. I'm just lightly gliding it over her cheeks. And we'll let that dry. As I said, if you use too much Gamsol, it'll take away the color. And you just have to add it again. All right, I'm gonna leave it like that. Oh, let me cover this Gamsol. Don't want this to spill. And then the bleed proof white, I'm just gonna use a little bit. Okay. Here. And don't double dip in what I'm doing. You should separate your bleed proof white. This isn't working either because I have the Gamsol on it. All right, guys, that is all I have for you for today. Don't forget to hit the like button. I know it went a little long. Again, if you want shorter videos, I'd have to do that on time lapse. Otherwise, this would be the length of the video. I'm going to try and shorten it as much as I can, but I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something. Don't forget to hit the like button and please subscribe. Take care, and I will see you next week.